6.3.
Okay.
Who we got?
Ready?
Yep, ready to go. Thanks, John.
Okay, so you heard the presentation this morning, which I think you probably agree is pretty exciting. This item here is really around an opportunity to invest, I guess, and support and partner with Tourism New Zealand for the next 2 years. So a couple of procedural things you need to discuss. So first of all, the report obviously gives you quite a bit of background to that discussion today. The request as outlined is twofold. Firstly, is for this current financial year, 2016-17, is $100,000 plus GST unbudgeted item towards that campaign, and the following year, 2017-18, the same value of $100,000 plus GST. I need to refer you to point 6.3, which is on page 12 of the which was the confidential item, and is really around the consideration as to whether or not it's significant needs requires consultation. The advice that we're giving you is it doesn't trigger that, so therefore it doesn't require any consultation. So I'll take any questions, but I guess it's up to yourselves to have a discussion now as to supporting this proposal.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ed. Just in clarification, the money, if approved, how does that get transposed over to the organisation? Does it get paid to who?
Through the chair, a couple of points here. One is that in the current year, unbudgeted, but we have significant surplus, as you found out in the council's performance report. For next year, it is in the draft annual plan, which you will be considering next week. We will show you the steps as to the rate increases as the effect of these particular items. But the actual payment, if it's approved, is an agreement between council and the Ruapehu Alpine Lifts.
Okay. Thank you. All right, questions of Mr. Red or Mr. Manhannant?
Chairman, I don't think any of this room would be against what is wanting to be achieved. I'm just wondering, when we talk about a significant whatever, the fact that we would be giving $100,000 to, if you like, a commercial operation worries me a little bit. I would suggest that that's significant.
So if I can answer, Mr. Chairman, probably the key thing is that this is going, and you'll read in the recommendation, toward the Tourism New Zealand marketing campaign. So it's not, this isn't a cheque going to Ruapehu Alpine Lifts. This is towards a specific campaign run by Tourism New Zealand, and that's quite clear in the resolution there. So, so it's not a commercial prop up. This is about economic development with TNZ.
Why then aren't we directly making that money payment to Tourism New Zealand?
So this money, along with RAL money, Tourism New Zealand money, and other money that can be obtained, and you heard about the discussion about Auckland Airport and others this morning, that'll all be put into the pool, and that then will determine the size of the marketing campaign, and then the bills will be paid by there, through there.
When we look forward and we're looking to, you just mentioned before, 17-18, do we then look at this as part of the tourism marketing of Taupo in regards to the budget we give Destination Great Lake Taupo?
Yes, so for next year, through the annual plan, our recommendation is that that budget needs to be increased by $100,000 to accommodate this activity. We don't believe that it can be accommodated within Destination Great Lake Taupo's current budget, hence this paper's before you today. So this is additional to business as usual, if you like.
If we're looking going forward, Mr. Chairman, to any expenditure to have a sum of $100,000 going into one particular budget, once again I say it is significant. I'm not happy with it, but I'm not going to vote against it.
Any other? Councillor Rankin.
I said this morning, it's a gift to Taupo. We could never afford to do this ourselves. And in terms of economic development, it's enormous. This is a tiny contribution compared with the benefits the town is going to get. It's a solid investment, and I absolutely support it.
Councillor Park.
Yeah, I'm with Councillor Rankin on this one. I just wonder if perhaps if it was to give councillor bodies some comfort, if when it is added, if it does get added next year to the DGLT budget, that it is then tagged in writing, so that would that give you some comfort, councillor body, perhaps? And we've done that in the past with different things where like 25k was tagged for business attraction and things like that, so then we know it's not going to get swallowed into other projects.
I may have almost put you wrong. So the 100, what we'll be saying for next year as part of the annual plan is that the economic development group of activities needs to increase by 100,000 to accommodate this activity. So it's not that DGLT's budget increases by 100,000, it's that the economic development group of activities does. And I think that's in the resolution. Yes, it is. It's in the recommendation as well.
Yeah, it's in the recommendation.
So
But then, Mr. Chairman, then for the 17-18, when we're doing the LTP, that would be part of that long-term plan. And that long-term plan is subject to submissions by ratepayers.
Correct.
So, yeah, so what we're doing, we give here, because you're claiming it's not significant, we're not giving the ratepayer the opportunity to have an input.
So, and that's in this significant section of the paper, and essentially we're saying, given the quantum of the expenditure and given the benefits associated with it, we do not believe that it's significant.
Councillor Cousins.
Through the chair, so to Gareth actually. So what you're saying is that after the second year, it will drop off, correct? Back to what it was. So you're going to come to us and say, "Oh, it's already there. We're going to keep it there."
So these resolutions only cover the remainder of this year and next year into your annual plan. As part of your long-term plan, you'll then have to consider going forward what your economic development contribution is in total.
So, and one thing I'm concerned about is, because I'm totally supportive, but everywhere I read, it's Taupo, Taupo, Taupo. Even Christine said town, town, town. And even when you read the recommendation, it's Taupo is the resort town. I'm conscious I'm representing 6,000 people at the southern end of the lake, and I'm not seeing district enough for me.
So I guess you heard this morning that that the bus service, as an example, will have a stop in Turangi, and obviously
even recommendation, if you could say, as the winter resort district or winter, you've got everything that's based around town. I don't want to get small brother or anything like that. I've got to sell us back to the town, to the Southern Lake, and I want it to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. I suppose I'm asking for a mentality of all parties concerned that this is about our district. It's not about Taupo centric.
So I guess absolutely. So this is about the reason that Taupo is as I understand it, YRL and TGLT are looking at Taupo as the town, is that we have that scope of accommodation, etc. But what this is intending and doing is growing the pie, so growing more money in town.
Totally get it.
Hopefully, my goal would be that once operators in Turangi see those busloads of people going through Turangi, it's a chicken and egg thing, then all of a sudden there's an opportunity to grow more product down there, and therefore there's that economic flow of
through, not past. That's
right.
Through the chair.
Councillor Williamson.
Yes, I'm taking on Councillor Cousins' point, thinking district-wide and the benefits to the whole district. I'm totally supportive of the whole proposal. We had an excellent presentation from Ross and Damien Coots this morning. Collaborative thing, it's just got to be $100,000 over each of the next 2 years. It's just a pimple in the landscape compared to the benefits that we're going to get as a region.
Councillor Kingy.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, I'm totally supportive of everything that's been said, totally supportive of the plan. I think, one of the key things a lot of us stood for in this term was economic development and job opportunities creation. This is a golden egg staring us in the face. Everything that the council does that's our business as usual type stuff just happens, but this is one of those opportunities we just need to grab with two hands and back it, because I think, whilst Taupo was communicated as being the focus around this, I understand that it's about capacity, but I think, Zane, for you and I, at the southern end, and even for our colleague here in Mangakino, it's up to us to also lead our communities forward to actually grab that opportunity, because it's, it's going to be there. We just have to get our hands on it, so totally supportive of everything.
Thank you, Councillor King. All right, it all sounds pretty good. Nothing further. No? Okay, we have a suggested recommendation there. The council approve unbudgeted expenditure of 100k plus GST for economic development activities. So So 1 and 2, correct? Could I have a mover, please? Moved by
Yes.
Councillor Cousins, seconded by Councillor Harvey. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Carried. Lovely, thank you very much.